So sometimes in Kerbal Space Program career, a bunch of contracts just line up perfectly. And in this case, as you can see here, I need to send a whole bunch of tourists to orbit. But I also got this contract that said send a station up to orbit. But since I still don't have docking ports and a bunch of other stuff that I would put on the station, I was like, I could get two birds with one stone. I could launch a station in name and also all these Kerbal tourists at the same time. I just have to be able to bring it back down to Kerbal. And therefore, this crazy launch contraption was envisioned using pretty much all the money I had, including having to do one other little tiny mission in advance to be able to pay for this monstrosity, leaving about $1,000 in the bank. I put this thing into orbit and hope for the best, given that if the launch failed or somehow I lost all these Kerbals, I would have a real hard time recovering this career save. It's a pretty simple two-stage system where the first stage got me mostly orbit and the second stage just basically was like an upper stage payload that, completed the transaction. Fortunately, I got to orbit without too much problems. Then I sent out Bill to go and do some science. But Bill's the engineer and apparently you need a scientist to do science. So Bill's just apparently along the ride and there's almost no point for him in this entire interlude. But there you go. Maybe you'll have more success convincing people to subscribe. I don't know. You can kind of see there. Also, on a side note, for those who are quick and looking, you might realize that I'm missing a few tourists. I'm not. The way I set up the station apparently does not have access to the bottom compartment. They are literally trapped in there. Anyhow, so with a very short burn, because we are in a very low orbit, we end up returning to Kerbin, with the goal being that I'm going to, according to trajectories, land at the KSC, or very close to the KSC. As long as I don't burn up along the way, which as you can see here, there's a lot of flames coming out of this rocket. But we have that heat shield provided by Oblivion Aerospace, so we should be good there, until I turned around and realized, oh crap, I forgot about the mountain. Yeah, the mountain, because all my parachutes are designed to deploy pretty low because I was worried about tearing them if I went too early, because this is a big giant weight effectively being dropped through the sky. Fortunately, they did deploy before I hit the mountain, but now I'm like, okay, I'm floating down here. I'm like, am I going to land on the side of the mountain? This thing going to roll? Because, yeah, again, I need to recover all these Kerbals. Every single tourist needs to survive for this to work. And we come down here and it doesn't look too bad. And oh good, we got stuck on this absolutely ridiculous nose cone that I brought along. And that's about it. So yeah, almost hit a mountain. Thanks to my Patreons and channel supporters, and for you for watching to the end.